Hey, what's going on YouTube? EasyTech231 here. You saw the title of this video. Yes, this is a Google Pixel rant. I have a few things that I want to say about it, but before I get into those things, I do have to say the Google Pixel is the best Android phone out there on the market, so there's that, and it's also pretty much my favorite phone out right now. RIP Note 7. So that being said, I'm not trying to attack the phone. I'm not trying to attack Google and say they did a horrible job with this phone. I just feel that there was so much potential with this phone and it didn't really live up to that, unfortunately. So the first thing that I have to talk about is that there is actually a headphone jack. Like, what's up with that? No, I'm just kidding. I actually don't even know why I put that in there. That wasn't even supposed to be part of the video. I'm horrible at making jokes. All right, so the first thing that I wanted to mention is just the overall design and the look of the phone. It's a very boring phone. It's so simplistic that it's boring. It just doesn't look like something that you want to go, wow, that's a really nice looking phone. It's just plain. It's simple. Some people may like that. Honestly, a lot of people probably just don't even care that there's a big chin at the bottom. A lot of people just say, hey, if the phone works, who cares about the design, right? And there are a lot of people that say that, but a lot of people also complain about the chin at the bottom, and I will have to agree that is a rather large chin. Of course, it's very pronounced here with the white model. A lot of people are getting the black model because the chin appears to be smaller. Of course, it's not, but it just gives the appearance of it being smaller. I really wish that they would have used that for something else, and that ties into what I'm about to talk about. The back of the phone is also something that I've never really seen before. Of course, they have their reasons for this back glass plate. But overall, I really wish they would have put more effort into making the phone look really good. You have phones like the Nexus 6P, for example, that has a pretty decent sized chin, but it has a speaker there. A phone like the iPhone has a big chin as well, but it has a home button. So, you know, everything about those phones as far as chin goes, it's justified because they're actually using that space. With the Google Pixel, that space is not being used at all, as far as I know. Overall, in terms of material, the phone is really well built. It's super solid. You're not gonna be able to bend this thing easily or anything like that. It's a very solid phone. The choice of materials is nice. In terms of looks, not that attractive. It's just very simple, and some people may like that. So it's a toss-up for a lot of people. So, you know, kind of ran out of words there. Now the chin on the front here ties into the fact that there are no front-facing speakers. What the heck? Part of what made the Nexus 6P from last year so great, and even the Nexus 6 from 2 years ago, was the fact that the phone had front-facing speakers. It was awesome. It was so great to have speakers facing your face. It only makes sense, right? But no, front-facing speakers are not a thing on the Google Pixel, and they've been reduced to a single speaker on the bottom. I don't really understand what that's about. Now, I will say though that this speaker does sound pretty good. It sounded a lot better than I expected. I think I spat, sorry about that. But we just have one single speaker here at the bottom. That's inexcusable in my opinion, and I really wish that they would have used this bottom chin here to just copy and paste this speaker up here and paste it down here on the bottom and just have some nice stereo speaker action going on there. So on top of not having front-facing speakers, there's no stereo speakers at all. So even the iPhone, Apple, for the first time, put stereo speakers on their iPhone, and they're amazing. They sound really, really good. They have a speaker up here, and then they have a bottom firing speaker, so you have some stereo sound going on. They couldn't even do that here with the Pixel. So if you're not gonna have front-facing speakers, at least have the stereo action going on, and they just don't have it. So again, it doesn't sound bad, but it could have sounded so much better, and it really would have added to the overall experience, and unfortunately, it's just not here on the Pixel. Next up is the fingerprint reader. It's actually not as fast as I would have expected or would have wanted. This is an end-of-the-year flagship phone, so the company is able to see what all of the other phones have done, and they're able to take from that and implement it in their own phones. A phone like Huawei's Honor 8 phone, that has the fastest fingerprint reader on any phone that I've ever used. It's incredibly fast. You just need to tap the fingerprint reader on the back and you're in. Same thing with the OnePlus 3, it's incredibly fast. Now, is the fact that I can't get into my phone 0.5 of a second faster a huge deal? No, of course, it's not a huge deal in that, oh my goodness, I can't use it because, you know, it's just not fast enough for me. No, it's great. It's very accurate, in my use at least. That's just something that I really would have liked to have seen, you know, just the fastest, because if this doesn't have a faster fingerprint reader than a, you know, $400 phone, it's just a little eye-opening. It's kind of surprising, to be honest. All right, so next up, and this one's sort of a heavy hitter, there's no water resistance on the Google Pixel. None. And this one makes pretty much no sense to me at all. Now, I did read somewhere on the internet that Google said they ran out of time to equip their phones with water resistance, like an IP68 or 67 rating. Now, I'm no expert, so I don't know how long it would have taken a company to have equipped their phones with water resistance, so I can't really say, oh, I would have waited an extra 2 months, because who knows? It probably wouldn't have taken that long, or I'm saying it wouldn't have taken that short of time. It probably could have taken longer, maybe into next year. Google wanted to get their phone out just in time for the holiday season, something like that. Part of me says, okay, fair enough. Let's just say it took an extra 2 months. Maybe it wouldn't have, but let's just say it took an extra 2 months. Would you guys have waited an extra 2 months to have water resistance in in a phone, I would have. Again, that's just a thought, that's just wishful thinking. It may not have taken them 2 months. It probably would have taken them longer. I don't know. Again, I'm no expert. We have an IP53 rating with the Google Pixel. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. Basically, that means it can withstand some rain. You can sneeze on your phone and it'll be able to handle that, but pretty much any electronic device will be able to handle a sneeze or some rain, just a little bit of rain. So that means literally nothing. Now, I know you guys saw a few videos by some YouTubers out there of people putting the phone, the Google Pixel, into a small bowl of water for maybe an hour to see if it can withstand that. And most of the time it was able to withstand that. If you look at Jonathan Morrison's video, for example, it kind of messed up the speaker in the phone, but other than that, the phone still worked, right? Now, those tests only go so far. Now, in real world usage, if you splash water on this phone, if you drop this in the pool, for example, the impact is going to be very different from placing a phone nice and softly into a bowl of water. I don't know why I switched to that accent. So when you really think about it, a company like Samsung, for example, hit the nail on the head when they said, hey, the world is covered in water, so there's going to be a point in time where your phone will meet water by accident or on purpose. Why not make the phone water resistant? And even Apple took that initiative and said, hey, okay, you know what? I think it's time to equip our phones with water resistance. And they did that. And that is huge. So with Google marketing this phone to people out there, if you're a general consumer and you think about Android, the first thing that pops into your head is probably Samsung, because what do you see when you see an Android commercial? It's probably a Galaxy device, right? So we see Apple commercials, we see Samsung commercials. We haven't seen a Nexus device commercial on TV for pretty much forever. And I say this not just because of water resistance, I say this because of everything that I mentioned in this video. They should equip this phone with each and every little thing that they possibly can to build up to a phone that just says, hey, look, we're here. This is Google's first real phone that's all Google everything, and we're here to compete. This phone has it all. But it doesn't. So the lack of water resistance to me is a huge hit, and I really think that every flagship device should at least be water resistant. You have the standard from Apple, you have that from Samsung. If you want to live up to that, I feel like you need to have some water resistance. Again, that's just my opinion. You may have different thoughts on that. You may say, look, I'm really careful with my devices. I never drop them in water or spill anything on them. And that's cool. Neither do I. But this past summer, I did actually take some video and picture underwater. I actually rinsed my phone off because it was just covered up in little kids, you know, apple juice fingerprints and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I actually rinsed off my phone in water, and it was really cool to be able to do that. So water resistance, man, I'm telling you, come on. All right, so last but not least is the price of this dang phone. So the baseline Google Pixel, not even the Pixel XL, the 5-inch 1080p panel Google Pixel starts at $650. You look at a phone like the Nexus 6P, which was almost the perfect phone last year and is still a heavy hitter in these streets in the year 2016. You look at this phone, it had a 5.7-inch 2K AMOLED panel, and the phone started at $499. So you have Google coming out with a Pixel phone that starts at $650 with a 5-inch 1080p display. Just that attribute alone is enough to say, what the heck? Then you move up to the XL model, and you're looking at a starting price of $780 for a 32GB phone with no expandable storage. So when thinking about the price and the price only, one thing pops into my head: iPhone. I'm just gonna go ahead and be honest with you guys. After tax, my 128GB iPhone 7 Plus cost me $940. After tax, my 128GB Google Pixel XL cost me $923. So a $17 difference. That's pretty much the same price. This is absolutely insane. The Google Pixel price matches the iPhone 7 price. That makes no sense. Now I will say, Google, good job. You kind of cut the Nexus line, which I was pretty disappointed about, but you wanted to stand out from the crowd and say, hey, look, Google can do this too. It's not just Samsung and Apple. Google can be a heavy hitter in these streets. I need to stop saying that. Google says, hey, look, we're out here, we're gonna make a phone and it's going to destroy everybody else's phone, or at least it's gonna be able to compete. But that doesn't mean you have to bump the price up to match everybody else's prices. Honestly, I think if you kept the same pricing as you did with the Nexus phones, man, this would have been the phone to get. Now, I will be doing a comparison of the Google Pixel XL versus the Nexus 6P over on the Android Police channel very soon. So make sure you subscribe to that channel to get updates on that one. That's gonna be a pretty crazy video. Man, this is really tough for me because this phone, as much as I really like it, and my SIM card will most likely end the year in this phone, for the price, man, it's kind of tough to really recommend this phone to everybody. And that's the problem. This phone is marketed towards everybody. If you look anywhere, you're going to see the Google Pixel. This thing is everywhere. Billboards, signs, commercials, adverts. This phone is everywhere. And they're not gonna let you hear the end of it. Again, I'm going back to this point again. People, when they think about Android, they think about Samsung, or maybe they think about LG, and then maybe after that HTC. But it's mostly Samsung. You know why? Because Samsung puts a lot of this stuff into their marketing, into their commercials and all that stuff. So it's Apple and It's Apple and Samsung. Those are the two top dogs, and now you want to add Google to that. They got to come up with something really special. And the main selling point in Google's eyes was the software, but you can't sell software for, you know, 800 bucks. That's kind of a stretch. Google, it just doesn't work like that. I don't know what you guys have been thinking. Of course, I'm no expert, but I'm just looking at it. I'm just giving you guys my opinion. I am dead serious. If Google had put just a little more time and effort into the design department of the Google Pixel XL, if they had equipped the phone with either stereo speakers or front-facing speakers, water resistance, these things really add up. And I'm telling you, this phone would have been the phone to get, and it still kind of is, but the fact that they didn't is honestly making me say this. Because the phone doesn't have what it could have had, and the Note 7 is dead, the iPhone 7 just might be the best phone of 2016. Never thought I would say something like that ever. Of course, it took the Note 7 exploding and Google's lack of effort with their phone for me to say that, but still, this phone could have been amazing. And it actually is amazing. That's the thing. The Google Pixel is an amazing phone. It's the best Android phone that you can get right now, even with all of these things that I've mentioned in this video. But just imagine if it had those things that I've mentioned in the video, it could have taken it over the top, and this would have been the phone to get. Right now, it's just sitting in a little void where I don't really know if it's really worth it. I don't really know if it's worth the extra $300, $400 over the Nexus 6P. So it just kind of lacks that grab. It lacks the grab and shut up and take my money. You know, it lacks that. It's a decent first attempt, and I'm really looking forward to what they come up with in the future. Again, this is their first attempt. This is kind of like an experiment for them. They're putting out a phone and saying, okay, let's see how everybody reacts to it. And I'm hoping that they take our reactions and say, oh, okay, you know what? They're saying this, they're saying that. Let's go ahead and mold that into the next phone. Hopefully they'll do that. But at the same time, I really would have wished that since they had a whole lot of experience with their Nexus devices, that, you know, that would have translated into here. A lot of what made the Nexus devices so great are kind of missing here on the Google Pixel. Do the pros outweigh the cons? Yeah, the pros outweigh the cons, but the cons are still pretty heavy. They're like rocks in cargo shorts. So I don't really know. The phone is still great. I love it. I'll be using it for a good amount of time. It just had so much potential and it didn't really live up to the hype, at least the standard that I set for it. So what do you guys think of the Google Pixel? Will you be picking it up this holiday season? Again, I really like this phone. I can't stress that enough, but it just lacks a whole lot. Anyway, I'm done talking about that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, check out the Android Police channel. I also post videos over there, and I will be doing a comparison between the Pixel XL and the iPhone 7 Plus, as well as the Pixel XL and the Nexus 6P. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get updates on that. But anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know if you guys want to see more Easy Tech 231 personality in upcoming videos. As you can tell, I can be quite energetic and very silly. But anyway, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching for the third time.